What's up, guys? It is Dan from FightWave, and today I'm joined by somebody who I'm very excited to speak with. If you know anything about me, you know I love the Dana White's Contender Series, and the person that I'm speaking to today is coming off an emphatic performance. You know, probably one of the best performances we've seen. He literally set the bantamweight significant strike record on the Contender Series, and I think across the UFC entirely with this performance against Junior Cortez. A phenomenal fighter, 6-0 as a professional, 5-0 as an amateur. He fights Nick Aguirre on the 18th of November. I'm joined by Payton Talbott. How we doing today, brother?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. I mean, thank you so much for the short notice. I know it was a little bit chaotic, but talk to me, obviously, first and foremost about how everything's been. We talked off air. You're ready to go to Burning Man this week. How's everything been?
Hold on. There's a crackhead like right on my porch. Go away. I'm doing an interview. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good.
Weird area of town.
It's a blooper, man. It's a blooper reel.
Yeah. I'm doing good. I'm just getting prepared for Burning Man, so I've been super busy with that, just prepping stuff. It feels good. It was cool to set the record for significant strikes, but I mean, I'm curious to know my numbers for other fights because I felt like I've landed way more than that. So, it's been cool. I've just been like enjoying the fruits of my labor lately, but I got booked for another fight already. So
yeah, obviously a little short-lived. You know, talk to me about obviously just, you know, going on the Contender Series, that entire experience, and getting to see a dream come true in the form of, you know, like you kind of mentioned, becoming a corporate slave for Dana White. Talk to me about just in terms of going on the Contender, getting that experience, and, you know, being able to fight in front of probably your biggest crowd to date in terms of viewership.
I'm super excited. What I meant by that is just that I'm not, I'm in the fight business to fight, and that's pretty much it. You know, like Dana looks for people that want to take fights and put on interesting shows, and I think that's me. So that's all I meant by that. But yeah, I'm just excited to start hitting the gas pedal in the UFC and just try to get to some of the higher, like top 4 guys that I want to fight.
Absolutely, and I think a theme that was going through this through this fight, I should add, is the classic striker versus grappler, you know, matchup that everyone was kind of tailoring this to be, and you showed it to be anything but the case. I thought the commentary kind of discredited your grappling a little bit. I think it's a lot better than people make it out to be. Obviously, you got that, you know, high school wrestling background. You've got a background in wrestling, you know, and on top of that, you're an accredited striker. You know, talk to me just about your skill set, because at 24 years of age, you're probably one of the hottest prospects coming into the UFC right now after that performance. So talk to me just about how you felt your skill set was coming in, because you weren't too high on your performance. So talk to me just about that a little.
I mean, I still think I did really well. I was just getting frustrated with him backing up. That was my main frustration was that I didn't adjust to that very well. But I mean, I understand why they're discrediting my wrestling. I don't really understand why everybody has a problem with giving their backup in MMA. I do it all the time and I get away with it. And everybody says, oh, wait till you go against a good grappler. He's going to expose you. But I mean, I've trained with plenty of people and I've willingly given my back to them and they haven't really done much with it. Unless it's somebody like 2 weight classes above me. So I'm going to continue doing that. And I feel fine giving my backup because I wrestled in high school. So at least I don't sit there and I'm just on my knees. Like, I'm active when I get to that position. So I don't know, I get it from a viewer standpoint and, a base knowledge of MMA, but when you're in there and you feel somebody on your back, you just feel way more stable coming to your feet than you do on when you're flat on your back, you know?
No, yeah, definitely. And I think more importantly, what you mentioned, it really, I think, resonated with a lot of fans is you just hate the idea of people backing up in a fight. You're there to go to war, and you've mentioned that multiple times throughout Fight Week and throughout the course of your career, you know, talking to opponents, you know, getting in, playing the mind games of the fight game. No stone unturned in that octagon, I'd like to add, you know, really standing down, getting ready to throw down, and really being a gladiator, a modern day gladiator, as you'd like to put it. You got the nunchucks first and foremost, you know, just echoing everything that embodies the fighting spirit. Your style is probably one of the most entertaining styles on the regional circuit in America, which is a rarity, you know, for American fighters to not go and shoot, panic wrestle, it's a rarity nowadays. So, I mean, talk to me just about the fan sentiment, getting a lot of fans that were giving you props on your performance, and that idea of just not backing down, walking down your opponents and throwing strikes, but by any means necessary, you know?
I think it's really cool from a fan standpoint. I don't really give too much of a shit about who likes me or think my style is cool, but I hope that people can see that I'm garnering all these fans from my fight style and the way that I'm fighting, and I hope that it changes maybe up and comers their approach to the game, and that they're not, concerned about just getting to the ground and wrestling and getting to their bread and butter, because nobody really wants to see that. So I just hope that maybe my fellow fighters and adversaries listen to the fans and see what they like, and then they try to employ that, because I know that's all I want as a viewer when I watch the UFC, and I don't really watch much, but yeah, I want to see guys like Max Holloway. I want to see guys like Michael Chandler. Like, if you're gonna wrestle, make it interesting.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I think more importantly, you showcase the level of like almost like a flow state. Laura Sanko mentioned it during the fight, a flow state, really getting into your rhythm. Talk to me just about, in terms of your style, being able to get to that rhythm and getting to that point where it feels like nothing is, gonna stop you and deter you from the objective at hand, which is producing a fun fight for yourself and just being at your all-around best in the octagon.
I think that's my most important thing, is getting to my flow state. And I think when I am there, there's really not many people that can hang with me. But the trick is for me to get there. I do struggle a little bit with starting slow, so that's what I'm going to be mainly focused on for this camp. And I don't know, I'm like that with anything in life. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you should aim to get into your flow state as like a regular thing with whatever it is. It could be gaming. I don't give a shit, but as long as you get there, I think you can find a lot of skill and purpose in what you do, and it just makes you feel good. So.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I think more importantly, I look at you, Payton, and honestly, I'm shocked at just the wealth of experience that you have. Because obviously you've been a perennial athlete your entire career. You did wrestling in high school, you did football, and you obviously took up MMA, I think in college, if I remember correctly, which is like still pretty late to start a career, but you've left no stone unturned. 5-0 as an amateur, 6-0 as a pro, 11 mixed martial arts bouts only at the age of 24. I mean, talk to me just about the introduction to the sport, like getting into it, and obviously more importantly, what it means to have so many fights in such a young career thus far.
For me, I don't think, I think I see a lot of people that train in MMA since they're like 11 and 12 years old, and I think a lot of those guys end up being super skilled. But I think if you come into a game like MMA late, you don't look at it traditionally as everybody else does. So you have some advantages with not being so concrete in your training regimen, and just the way you see the game. So I think that has done a lot for me. And when I was an amateur, I never really had a vision of being in the UFC. I never had a vision of being this successful pro. I just did it because I really enjoyed it. And fighting helped me when I was in a really dark place in life. So, I mean, even when I went pro, I was like, before I fought Hector, I was planning on being a firefighter. I was like, I'm going to get my certification and start working, a real job. And then I saw how much engagement I got after that. And I was like, maybe I can continue to do this for a while. And even now that I'm in the UFC, it's like, this isn't an end goal for me, but I really do love it and enjoy it. And I think it's my way of sharing my personality with the world.
So. No, yeah, absolutely. And I think just you're an incredibly personable guy. Honestly, a lot of people would just love the personality. They were nicknaming you. I was nicknaming you even Alex O'Malley or Sean Caceres, just in terms of looks and style. I mean, they were echoing those sentiments, with the hair, with the style, everything about you spoke about just a fan favorite, very personable guy. And then looking through your social media, obviously just a love for other things, like the outdoors, like skateboarding, like photography, about your personal hobbies and passions. Talk to me just about when you're not obviously in the chaos of a fight camp or just training, what's Payton Talbott like? What's Payton Talbott doing to kill the time other than, telling crackheads to maybe leave him alone in the midst of an interview?
What you see on my Instagram is a pretty accurate representation. Not really faking anything. I just think I try to stay active in whatever it may be. Like, I have a bunch of passions. Skateboarding is a big one. Climbing, pole dancing. My sister owns a pole studio here, and I think with that, being able to like dip your feet in a bunch of different hobbies and activities and get good at them, they all translate over to each other. So mean, fighting has made me good at pole dancing. I've only done a handful of classes, but I can do like tons of stuff that experienced people can't do. But at the same time, like those pole classes translate to fighting. So I think that just goes for like all aspects of life. Like you shouldn't pigeonhole yourself into your passion because it'll burn out eventually. Everything does. So I think it's really good to spread your brain and your mind and other areas that are stress free and that give you more of a perspective on moving your body and articulating your thoughts and contributing your personality to society.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think fans couldn't help but notice, obviously, the very much so artistic expression that you expressed, not only in the octagon, but also across your body. Obviously, you've got that big tattoo on the center of your stomach. I wanted to ask you just about the significance of the tattoo and obviously what it means to you, because it was pretty much out there during the entirety of the fight. Obviously, is there any kind of sentimental meaning behind it, or is it just like, fuck it, I'm going to get a big dot on my chest?
It means I'm the number one domino.
Oh. Oh,
No,
shit. I'm like...
It was kind of just like an internal void and a representation of like a hole that goes through me because I have the same thing on my back. I don't know if you can see it, but
No, yeah.
And then also along with that, one of my favorite animes is Bleach, and a lot of the like some of the villains in there have these holes through their body in one way or in some place, and it just represents like they're called hollows. So it just means you're kind of hollow on the inside, and I've always felt this like internal void all throughout my life that I seem to try to fill with things like MMA and things like getting myself in really stressful situations. So I have come to learn throughout my life recently that really important people and love and passion can fill those voids, but I've always had a call to that void, and I guess this is a representation of it.
I mean, that's a beautiful meaning. I mean, I look at you and I just, I see the inspiration that you draw from life and the people around you. Very much so looking to have a fulfilling life, more importantly. I always like to say, like, fighters, usually whenever they're fighting, they let the fighting consume so much of their life that they forget how to live. And I think for you, we really very much get to see that fighting is just a part of you, It's like Dennis Rodman to a certain degree. You see, basketball is only like a part of what he does in terms of just living a crazy and chaotic life. And more importantly, I think the Payton Talbott that we've got right in front of us is one that not only is a fighter, but is somebody who is looking to make the very much most of his life and enjoy every aspect of it. And I think that's part of why, going to places like Burning Man, which you got to let us know how that goes, because that's going to be an out-of-body experience. I mean, just doing things like that sets you apart from the pack, and more importantly, leads to a fulfilled life full of everything other than fighting.
Yeah, I agree. I love Dennis Rodman. He's like my spirit animal if I were to be a basketball guy. But yeah, I think a lot of personalities live and die in the cage, and I think people can learn a lot from people like Dennis Rodman, people like Johnny Manziel, people like Conor McGregor that they have other things going outside of the cage. Maybe Conor McGregor isn't a great example, but it's important to just like fighting is something I do. I'm not a fighter. It's not my identity, but it's just something I do right now. I might not even be doing it in 5 years. So I don't know. I think when you keep things like that, you keep the excitement and the spontaneity within training. So
no, yeah,
I totally, great point.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just living life on the edge, because you never know when the fighting window is going to close. It's a shorter window than most other sports. So making sure that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor, enjoy the moments within it, as well as enjoy the moments outside of it. It's so important. And it all starts, obviously with this first fight in the UFC, making the long-awaited debut November 18th against Nick Aguirre. I mean, talk to me just about the matchup, how it came about, or, is there any kind of excitement, or is it just like another fight that you're just like, fuck it, this guy just came up, let's do it?
Yeah, I feel like it's just another fight. There's obviously some excitement about, getting my like UFC record started, which is really cool, but I'm not super excited to fight him because I don't really enjoy his style, and I don't think we're going to have a lot of fun in there, neither of us. So I'm not super excited for that. I love fighting when I know I'm going to get tested and really pushed, and I enjoy the person's personality, but I don't think I'm really going to enjoy this one as much. But Um, and I think I looked at his highlights and I saw like what he had as his highlights, and I was like, how? I didn't know. I was like, these are the most mid highlights I've ever seen. So, not knocking him. Like, he has the thing. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, but my style just doesn't really shine as much with that. But I never really feel too much excitement either way. I don't really feel much. The last fight was really weird because walking into the Contender Series, I didn't feel anything when I walked in there. I was like trying to get myself in that that fight mode, that kill mode, and I just like couldn't. I just felt nothing. It was silent there. There was no music, so it was really hard to get into that flow, which is why I thought I started so slow. But I think I just need to do a little bit more mental work, and I'll be there.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I think I speak for everyone when I say, obviously, it takes two to tango. But more importantly, I think everyone is just excited to see you back in that octagon, whenever it may be. Obviously, November 18th is the date. We're looking forward to watching you fight then. We know it's going to be a fight that, regardless of if Nick Aguirre brings it or not, it'll be an entertaining style and an entertaining fight on your front. We know you'll be doing everything in your power to bring a good fight for the fans. And I wanted to thank you very much for your time, Payton. Just on the short notice, being able to speak with you, chop it up with you. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of you very soon. Just in terms of your personality, very vibrant, very much out there, not opposed to trying new things. And I think a lot of fighters could take notes from that. And especially just in terms of the experience that you carry in the octagon every time. So thank you so much for that. And to the fans at home watching, it's been me, Dan, from FightWave. If you guys enjoyed this interview, do be sure to check out Payton Talbott on social media. Probably one of the most entertaining fighters on the active roster. Does a lot of fun shit. Check him out on social media. I should even ask, before I even wrap things up, any just personal goals or plans? Obviously, going to Burning Man. Any other fun stuff you got in the works?
No, I don't really have too much plan. I don't really want to become famous, and that portion of this whole thing is really scary to me. But people that, I love intimate stuff, so people that are important to me, I'll always put content out on social media for them. But sorry, viewers, I was a little like spacey at the beginning of this. There was a crackhead like yelling at me, and he wouldn't go away. So sorry, I had like a little bit of a rough start, but that is the theme for this camp anyway. So
regardless, I think everyone's just excited to see you. But it's been me, Dan, from FightWave, guys. Check out Payton Talbott on social media. And, if you guys just want to even watch a great fight, look at some of his past fights on the regional circuit. You will not be, you will not be bored, to say the least. It's been me, Dan, from FightWave. Have a great day, guys.